Hey everybody, it's Aaron again, and today we're going to cover what this scenario information is underneath edit and all the information that it is here. So we're looking at my example from the Shlobovian conflict, Mission 1, Summer Isle Invasion. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out on the Steam Workshop. It's fun to play. And so simple starter, you're going to give it a title, give it something catchy, the better. Simple description that's going to allow the user to get a basic understanding of what your mission's all about. I suggest you add imagery to your mission. It just makes it pop that extra much. And one important thing to note is that when you want to add content for the mission editor to actually be able to find the content that you want to use inside of the stuff that you're designing, it is imperative that you put these resources in a certain place. And that certain place is, if you go underneath your Steam apps under the VTOL folder and you go underneath editor resources, anything that you want to use inside the map editor or the mission editor needs to be underneath editor resources. So you'll see here I've got a lot of my custom height maps that I've pulled off of the cool tool that I mentioned in my other series, which you should check out by the way as well. And so just be sure to, if you are going to add imagery, that you're able to actually get to the images that you want to, so put them in the appropriate place. This includes audio files as well. But again, add this, my suggestion. So you're able to pick the vehicle type for your mission. In my particular case, when I'm clicking on it, you're not seeing that it's changing because I've actually made a scenario. When you start a scenario, or sorry, a campaign, I apologize. When you start a campaign, you pick the vehicle for the whole campaign. So I'm stuck to the F-45, so each mission is going to vary in kind of what it does. So I'm just going to use the F-45 to do everything I need to do. It's perfectly fine. If you guys worry too much about being stuck to one vehicle, I would suggest maybe making individual scenarios rather than a campaign. This thing feels very, multi-role and versatile to me, so I like using it personally. This will be whether you want to let the user configure their equipment or not, or whether you specify a very specific amount of whatever needs your mission needs. Here is where you really start getting into the balance of what you're doing with your mission, right? So for me, mission 1 for this is going to be, I want it to be, a bit action-y, but I also want it to be more open for the Shlobovian conflict, because I'm still a new player. I don't even understand how to actually play very well, even though I'm designing missions and stuff already. I fell in love with this thing immediately. So be sure you have some kind of concept in mind when it comes to what you want to do, because this stuff is going to become important. But for me, I'm just letting the user configure whatever they want to do before they start, because in my story they're coming prepared from another base. So if they got to take off in a manner in which it was controlled or wasn't super under pressure or all this other stuff, they were able to align the equipment they wanted. So it just made sense to me to allow the user to pick that kind of stuff. And then when you get into designing maps, you'll eventually start setting waypoints, and there will be more on waypoints in coming tutorials for all this stuff. So I've set my 2 waypoints for refuel and RTB. I don't really much care about the budget here. Totally going to let the user do what they want to do, but here you're going to be able to restrict funds if you want to control what they're going to be able to buy or how much they're going to be able to buy. I don't know what good values are personally yet. I haven't put a gauge on measuring my equipment, what I'm doing, how much it costs, how much I weigh, all this other stuff, conserving fuel, and all these other things that you can put into your scenario to make it more appealing, more detailed, all these other things. So I don't exactly get all that yet. I'm still watching plenty of YouTube videos from other people in the community playing the game, and am learning a lot myself. But as soon as I saw this, I needed to start making missions and content and yada yada yada. So here you're able to choose a type of environment. Just be cautious. At night, it's really up to you. I love night missions, but you really, in personal opinion, should use them sparingly, because it will make things more difficult to constantly have to battle the fact that you're either staring through, the green screen night vision goggle effect, or everything's just hard to see. So you really got to balance it, and I think, into how you're trying to manage either your story for your campaign or the scenario that you're trying to make for yourself. And again, you also have the choice to let the user kind of configure how they want to set the environment. But in my case, again, a part of the story I'm making, I thought they arrive at a specific time. So the other thing is, a part of doing this, if you're forcing equipment and you want to be able to make it so that the user's available inventory grows per mission, you're able to tell them that they don't have any starting equipment originally, and that each mission that they complete through your campaign, if you're doing multiple ones, you'll be able to check that they get these items to attach to the hard points of their fighter next time. So it's a great way to add that same thing of, that game should be doing, and allowing you to grow into your role as you play the game. So quick save, and I don't really know this is going to be how much this is used in the game yet personally, so it's hard to give advice exactly on what to do here, but I think it's going to, again, more go with how you want to control the scenario that you're making, right? So for me, I'm expecting that I'm going to be playing this even after I make it, to teach myself how to play. New players are going to be playing this kind of stuff, and I don't want to make this mission particularly very hard. So for one, it's not really all that long, so I think the use of the save feature isn't really that necessary, but might come more into play if you have multiple objectives. Again, you got to drop somebody off on a rooftop, you got to run away from somebody, or you got to chase somebody, you got to pick up multiple people. Then I can imagine having a save feature like that becomes in handy. Very, very handy, because I know, like in situations back in the day with Ace Combat, it definitely got frustrating to have to go back and do large parts of it because you kept failing one part. So up to you on how you want to control all that stuff. So this is just the starting point for really controlling how you want to manage the whole overall environment that the user will experience inside your campaign or scenario. And as we all know, that's very important. So until next time.